begin tonight by imagining that we're having a conversation with God. God says to us, I want to give you an incredible gift, one given freely and which requires no effort on your part other than prioritizing and preserving it as a sacred offering. This gift I give you provides for countless blessings. It helps regulate your emotions, reduce your anxiety, consolidate your memories, and process the events of your day. It resets and refreshes you, provides you with energy, helps repair and rejuvenate your body, reduces disease risk, improves your immunity, helps regulate your weight, and for those still growing, is directly associated with the release of key hormones. And it even helps your skin look younger and healthier. Again, God says, I give you this gift without any effort on your part except for making it a priority. It's so powerful that you can go more than 3 times as long without food as you can without this blessing. But I offer one warning. If you don't seek to preserve its sacredness, along with a few other gifts, they will drive an epidemic of preventable medical and psychological conditions to a degree never seen on this earth. And what is our collective societal response? I don't know, God. The promises sound too good to be true. And besides, I'm really busy, and I need the time for other things. Also, if I'm honest, it's kind of boring. And I'd really rather be doing something more fun or productive. And as far as the warning, is it really going to be that bad? I mean, with all the medical advances and new meds, I think I can get what I need another way. In fact, my doctor will take care of me if something goes wrong. By now, you probably know that the incredible gift I'm speaking of is sleep. Something we're designed to do around a third of our life more than any other activity. And yet, as a country, we are sleeping 20% less than we did a century ago. Our teens are in the midst of a great sleep recession, and we have turned our bedrooms from sanctuaries of slumber into communication centers and entertainment zones. And what are our kids' bodies teaching us? And ours too. Well, simply put, the price of going against God's design is so incredibly high that no fortune in this world can counteract it. And that's not just regarding our sleep. This resounding message is the same for activity, nutrition, and the remarkable technology that is only possible because of the physical properties by which God created this universe. Truth be told, if we want to see our community and our children thrive, we will begin and end with the big 4. And I'm not talking about infrastructure, education, economics, and entertainment. What I am talking about are the 4 factors that form the framework of our livelihood: sleep, diet, activity, and technology. Amidst all the bad news, though, is an incredible opportunity for our beloved community, which was once labeled as the unhealthy seat of the United States. Before we talk about ways that Evansville could become a model city for this country, founded first on the belief that nothing is more important than our children's and citizens' physical, psychological, social, and spiritual health, we must be honest about 2 systemic errors to which all of us, to some degree, including our medical bodies, are to blame. That is, in our well-intentioned attempts to promote better health, we have treated God's incredible gifts as an obligation, not the remarkable opportunity that they are. We have been told that we must eat our vegetables, we have to exercise regularly, and we should go to bed on time, and so on. And until recently, we've also done little to increase the curiosity and understanding about how these factors relate to all aspects of our being, not just our physical health. Unintentionally, we've created barriers to understanding just how intricately connected all aspects of mind, body, and spirit are. It's not the advice that has been proven to be wrong. It's the approach that has proven to have failed. Somewhere amidst all the expert advice, we forgot that if people are not inspired and made curious by the sacredness and by the potential, they will largely fail to heed the advice over the long term. If broccoli is just a compulsory commodity to be consumed, then how in God's green earth might we ever find the joy and possibilities in eating it? Imagine, though, we started over with the big four, not with our science and theology, but how we approach them. Imagine that we formed a coalition of conscientiousness in which our city first and foremost prioritized the big four before anything else and sought to engage the opportunities and curiosity around them. Among infinite ideas, imagine that prenatal care included education for all parents regarding sleep hygiene for their kids and practical ideas and support for maintaining their own health and wellness after their child is born, which, by the way, turns out to be one of the most, if not the most important factors in taking care of our child's well-being. Imagine that our city incentivized walking clubs at work and that kindergartners were taught the incredible ways that food can build capacity within all aspects of their being. Imagine accessing natural foods was incentivized in the most deprived areas. Imagine that our religious congregations were repeatedly engaged about God's design of the big four, while collective ways of supporting each other, such as removing devices from our kids' bedrooms, just became part of church, not separate secular advice. And imagine that signs, big and small, all over town, sent a simple yet empowering message, quote, "Please join us in making our community healthier," with resources to help anyone willing to be part of this movement to take the next steps. Some suffering is unavoidable, but so much suffering is unnecessary and occurs when we go against God's design of human beings and the world. The reality is that despite barriers which may exist, Evansville is the perfect place to lead this revolution. With more non-for-profits and religious organizations per capita than almost anywhere else, we already have a heart for doing what matters most. But what our kids' bodies are telling us is that until we honor God's intrinsic gifts with a soaring sense of sacredness, we will never come to know the unfathomable potential that lies within. I can tell you firsthand, out of the depths of my own despair, beyond all the scientific and theological evidence supporting this, that our capacity is boundless when we co-partner with God around the everyday gifts He gives us. What is especially exciting about this is that that which is often free and accessible, or should be accessible, is what provides for the greatest impact, if we are willing to put our collective support behind it. Beyond the big four, the research as it relates to our youth well-being in areas such as exposure to nature, journaling, volunteering, and cultivation of silence, among many others, provide promise for the health, harmony, and happiness beyond what we could imagine. I close with 3 well-established scientific realities and 1 overarching consideration. Number 1, if you want to improve mild to moderate depression, regular exercise is as effective as therapy and medication alike. Number 2, if you want to resolve a conflict and work through difficulties, walking together side by side is the best place to be. Number 3, if you want to improve a child's emotional regulation, a clear place to start is with their nutrition and micronutrient consumption. This shouldn't surprise us. Our brains and our bodies are greatly impacted by what we do most each day. Consider that our remarkable brains are only about 2 to 4% of our body weight, but use about 20 to 40% of the oxygen, hydration, and nutrients that we take in. At any given time, 1/6 of all the blood flowing through our body is in our brain, which includes much of what we absorb from the food and drinks we consume. And it is in this space that our kids' brains are developing each second of the day as they learn to speak, move, attend, remember, understand, feel, think, empathize, communicate, regulate, respond, grow, forgive, desire, and love. These brains, in those first 2+ decades of development, will provide the framework and foundation for the rest of their lives. It is this collective brainchild that also provides the framework and foundation of this community that we so dearly love. Truly, as God designs us, each of us, and our community as a whole, are much of what we absorb, especially at an early age, whether it comes through food, movement, technology, or otherwise. Barbara Harrison, who's best known for the franchise she created to help children in foster care, once said the following, quote, "To sleep is an act of faith," end quote. The reality is that this applies to all the natural gifts we've been given, and there is nothing we can do but strive in faithful, joyful ways to preserve the irreplaceable blessings they are. If we're looking to heal, if we're looking to love, if we're looking to flourish, we should look no further than what God offers within us to sustain who we are called to be. For Evansville, for each other, and for the glory and love of our divine Creator. Amen.